Before we start this episode, I would like to give a big disclaimer that this episode has a lot of triggering topics that I'm be talking about. A lot of the stories I'm be talking about in this episode is going to be really triggering, some of them being SA'd, and a lot of them just being weird stuff. So if you're not comfortable and you are sensitive to these topics, I highly don't recommend watching this episode, and you can watch the next episode if it's appropriate or not. But yeah. Other than that, enjoy the episode. You're warned. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Blueberry. You are watching the Hahablueberry's podcast. Let's get started. Also, welcome back. I would like to give a big shout out to my Spotify impressions for having 1,207 people. Thank you. So there's something that I need to clear up in the room. Like literally in the room, or the elephant in the room, or whatever you want to call it in the room. And that is my episode video, which is the truth of having a relationship in high school. Now in this episode, I wrote a script. I just wrote off my perspective of what I have seen as a freshman in high school. Now, yes, this episode was in April. It was really old. It's not that old, actually. It's like pretty old, though. I was still a freshman, so I didn't really see all the itty-bitty relationship. I've seen enough to a point where I made an episode about it, because why not? But this is before I knew a lot of people in my sophomore year this year, but many people who I am close to ever now heard or seen my podcast episode, and they always see that one. I don't know why. Everybody's always curious about that episode specifically. They were always like, "Oh my gosh, like Billy, can you give me like what is it about?" Or like, you know, just a lot of stuff that people want to know about. Or people are asking me like, "Billy, why shouldn't I date in high school?" Like, you know, like there was a bunch of DMs I got because of the episode, and I feel like in that episode I wasn't that clear or like detailed enough, because in my opinion I didn't feel like it was necessary, because I felt like everybody who listened to the podcast really thoroughly kind of knew what I was talking about, but I guess not. So today I'm gonna give a bunch of stories, a bunch as in like 4 or 5 stories of reasons why I would not be dating in high school. Now these stories are pretty recent, pretty fresh, and pretty new. Some of them could be a bit old, like in my freshman year, but I'm just saying, these are my reasons why I would not be dating in high school. Now, disclaimer before I start this episode. Again, these stories have a lot of sensitive topics that I'm talking about. It may be really triggering, so I highly do not recommend hearing these stories if you are sensitive to these topics. But let's continue on. So the first story comes off with who's a junior friend now, dating a senior when she was a sophomore. They were like together, and that's because my junior friend's brother was friends with that senior, I guess. Anyways, my sophomore friend, when I was a freshman, was dating the senior, and she told me, she was like, "Oh my god, it's like me and this person's dating," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's so, good for you." But I also didn't want to be that friend who was really invasive, who was always, wanting to know every little detail and not give them any privacy. So I stepped back and I always gave them privacy. I never really asked about the relationship. I never really asked how it was going. A lot of stuff, just a lot of like generous stuff that I didn't really ask, because I didn't want to, bother their relationship. I want to give them the privacy that they needed. Also, sorry for the background noises. My mom is typing a lot. But anyways, couple like months later, I think it wasn't even a month. I'm not sure how long it lasted. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't last for a year. I know that for sure. But it didn't last for a month either, I think. Or maybe it did. A couple months. Maybe it lasted for a couple of months, 3 months, I think. I'm not sure. She told me, she was like, "Hey, me and this person broke up." And I'm like, "What?" Like, what? And I kind of needed to like know what happened. So in my mind, I'm not that shocked that they broke up because I kind of had a skeptical feeling about it because I kind of knew who was right and who was wrong. And usually it's always the seniors who always breaks up with the sophomores. So anyways, at that point, I was kind of like mazed inside my head. Like I was kind of like needing to know answers and questions. So I went ahead and asked her. I was like, okay, what's going on? She just said that he broke up with her for no reason. Like there was no reasoning of why. Sorry. And I'm like, what? What do you mean there's no reasoning? Because usually in a relationship, like people don't just don't casually break up. Like it's either someone cheated and all these other stuff, all these other reasonings or excuses or whatever, which is why relationships never work out with everybody or for everybody. But yeah, she never got answered for many days until one day she was in gym casually and she met up with a junior friend or senior friend who was friends with the boyfriend, I think, the ex-boyfriend that time. And he was like telling my, who is now a junior friend, was like, don't go back with the senior. Don't go back. And she was like, why? And he was like, because he's sleeping with a lot of girls in our school. And when she heard it, she was a bit shocked. And when she told me, I was even more shocked. There was a lot of questions that was unanswered that I had, and I even asked her myself. My first question was like, what? Why didn't he just tell her? And the thing is, like, she told me that he did tell her, but he said that he fixed that. But you know, we weren't ever sure if that's true, because when you say that you fix it, it's hard to believe, especially when you're a senior. And she was still a minor at that time. So, sorry, I'm drinking my banana milk. So, you know, we didn't really know if he was lying or not. But what made the breakup really weird is when he said, oh, I can't drive you home, but drove another friend home who was way further away from her house. And I literally saw them both walking in together in a school building, which was a bit skeptical, a bit weird. And we didn't get really good answers. But our main answer kind of was like, he probably wanted sex. Because, you know, he probably was, you know, just really weird, and he probably just needed a sexual life. You know, but I don't think that he could have told her in an awkward way. So I guess he didn't tell her and just spoke with her as like the safest bet, which is kind of not, because the rumor found out later on. I think it's really weird. But anyways, that's one of the stories of why I won't be dating in high school, because of that reason specifically. Oh, I also want to say that if you're hearing these stories and you're scared of dating in high school, don't be. I'm not telling these stories just to make everybody scared. I'm just telling these stories because I need to clear up the room. But also, if you want a high school relationship for the experience, go for it. But I'm just telling you that rumors will spread like wildfire after you guys break up. Everybody will know about your business. So I'm just saying, if you want to risk your reputation in your life of your name not getting known in school, then don't date. But if you do, go ahead and date. Do whatever you want. Just don't be running up to my comment sections or my DMs if you know, get spread out rumors, because it's not my fault. I warned you. The next story is my same exact junior friend. And you guys may be thinking, why is she dating so much? She's not dating a lot. Trust me, she's not. This junior friend, who's also friends with my junior friend, they both are in the same grade this year. This story's about this year. That story's about last year when I was a freshman. This story's about this year. He was in a relationship, but he broke up. And the reason why I know these stuff is because I was in the same exact gym class as him and his ex-girlfriend last year. But yeah, I just don't want to give out too much details away. But this male junior broke up, and I guess he went for my junior girl, woman friend, lady friend. I don't even know how to say it. So yeah. But anyways, So later on, my junior girl was going to a coffee shop, I think, and he was like, "Oh, let me tag along," and I wasn't there. Don't worry, it was just her because she was just chilling there. I think she wanted to just catch up on some homework and stuff like that. And he was like, "I'll join you," but he didn't like coffee, so it was just weird. But she was like, "Okay, whatever." She drove her car there, and they just chatted. It was really awkward, I think it was. And later on, he was like, "Oh, can I take you home?" Oh, sorry, I just hit my table. Um, but she drove a car. But she was like, "Sure." So they walked home, even though she had a car. And my junior friend knows how to make like alcoholic drinks because I think her aunt or uncle, I don't know, teach her how to make those. And he knows, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to make a drink like with each other and just get drunk?" And she looked at him in the face and she was like, "Are you kidding me? On a Monday morning or Monday afternoon? Like, are you kidding me?" And get blacked out and drunk? Absolutely not, she said. Plus, she had like a test or something the next day. And so, after she dropped him off, she walked all the way back to the coffee shop just so that she could drive her car back home. Later on, she found out that he likes to essay a lot of ladies or women's in our school. And I'm not shocked. I mean, he's literally muscular, so I'm not shocked that he could take advantage of any ladies, but it was just really weird. And he's still in our school, and I see him in the hallways, and it's just awkward to wave at him now because of the way, I see him. But also, just a lot of stuff that I think I need to address. Number one, I think the main question is, shouldn't you hear both sides of the story? And the answer is yes, but not after you hear like a horrifying story. You want to go ahead and ask them. That's just weird. Also, when it's especially about sensitive topics, I just don't want to ask them because of many reasons. It's just weird, in my opinion. I don't know. I find it weird. So yeah. But anyways, she needed to ask the ex-girlfriend why they broke up and I was actually interested in that too because I wanted to know why they broke up. In my opinion, I think it's weird because I'm like, is it because of her size? Like, because that's rude if he broke up with her because of that reason. But we really don't know. We really do not know. But yeah, that's also another reason why I won't ever be dating in high school. The next story I'm talking about is another junior friend, but this time it's different. So let's just get right into that one. So this junior friend of mine's, I pretty much know their relationship because I was in the exact same building, in the exact same room. Not the exact same room, but like the room next door to each other. So I kind of like knew their relationship and I kind of seed it. Like I saw it often. It was really often. They were really touchy and cute. But one day, I don't see them together. And I thought it was really weird. I didn't want to give off any like weird vibes, And so I went ahead and I saw her in the hallways. And I'm like, "Hi." And she's like, "Hi." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, haven't seen you in a while." I also saw her Hoko, and she was stunning with her makeup and dress. Like, she's stunning. Oh, I found out she does have a new boyfriend now. I think so. Anyways, I see her and I'm like, "Hi." I'm like, "How are you and this person doing?" And she's like, "We broke up." And I'm like, "What do you mean you guys broke up?" And she said that he was abusive and just very hand hitting, like not like abusive, just abusive, And I'm like, "What? He's abusive?" And because that shocked me because I saw them together, but I couldn't see him as abusive. But also they had a lot of falling in and out, so I'm not shocked either. But I was like really shocked at that moment because it was so early in the morning. But I was also shocked that he was abusive. He's like, "Yeah, I broke up with him at the end of the school year last year." And I'm like, "Okay, as you should. And, she told me that he broke up with him at the end of the school year. And I'm like, good for you. Good for you. Because as she should, because then you get like a nice relief and you don't got something heavy lifting on your shoulder and think about it. So yeah, that was the end of that story. I saw them together like all the time. They were so cute together, but I just never thought they were abusive, which is so weird. Him being abusive, sorry. So it just kind of shocked me a little bit. So the next story I'm going to be talking about is another junior friend. And I don't know how to say this without confusing you guys, but this same junior friend was also beside the same junior friend who I just talked about the story. So it's really funny though. She just peeked out her head. I didn't even know. I didn't even see her at that time, but she peeked out her head and she's like, yeah, me and my girlfriend broke up and she's lesbian. And I'm like, wait, what? She's like, yeah. And I'm like reasoning. She's like, toxicity. So yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. Like, I'm not shocked by how toxic relationships are in high school, but it's really sad. Oh, also FYI, she did say that she won't ever be dating in high school ever again. She's waiting until she's in college to be dating. So yeah, pretty much good for her. I'm proud of her for doing that, like standing up for herself, because you really needed that moment right there. Like, I felt so bad over what she had to go through. Anyways, but yeah, the lesbian friend of mine was like, yeah, me and my girlfriend broke up because she was toxic, and yeah, I love that. So now we're both, but they now see each other and they walk each other, and they walk with each other in the hallways and they hold each other's hand. I'm like, that's so cute, just to show that they're quote unquote in love. It's so adorable. I love it a lot. Oh, so cute. But yeah, that's the end of that story. But that's also another reason why I won't ever be dating in high school. So you will not be seeing me with a girlfriend unless I'm really in love with this one girl. Then sure. But other than that, I'm probably never dating in high school ever again. So you probably won't ever see one. Also, if I do date one, I probably won't even tell anybody, because I was keeping my relationship private, because internet likes to ruin stuff. Internet likes to not be the fun people. Like, yeah, internet is boring. The internet is mean and boring. But anyways, that's pretty much the end of these stories. I did say I have a fifth one, and I'm not going to say it because it's really boring and confusing. But I hope this clears up all the little questioning and stuff like that of why you shouldn't date in high school. Now, again, hearing these stories, if they scare you, I'm so sorry. I did give a disclaimer already. But also, now I think a lot of people's question is, I literally just answered this a second ago, but a lot of questions people may still ask is, then should I still date in high school, or da 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 da? Thing is, go for it. If you want a experience of dating in high school, go for it. Let me just tell you though, date while you were in senior, so then you will graduate right after. So then even if rumors spread about you, they can't spread to your college. It's not possible. It's barely possible. So yes. Do what you gotta do. Just do it. Do it for you. But also, if you don't want rumors to spread like wildfire in high school about you, and you don't want your name to get known, then don't date in high school. It's that simple. So that being said, do what you want to do. Nobody is stopping you. I can't stop you. I don't even know who's listening to my podcast. So, I can't stop you. But anyways, that's pretty much end of this episode. Let me pull up my outro. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's podcast episode. I hope everyone drinks some water, and I'll see you guys all next week for the next upcoming podcast episode. Make sure to follow all my social medias, which will be linked in the description down below. Also, this episode is not sponsored. And I'll see you guys all next week. Toodles. Goodbye.